Hi everyone, it's John. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. I have something really exciting for you that looks really wonderful. So I'm going to tag this video as an Historathon2023 video because while we are still in quarter number 1, I think some people might want to get their hands on this for a little bit later in the year and dig into some really, really great history. The people over at Princeton University Press, which I affectionately refer to as PUP, have told me about something that they're going to be releasing on March 14th of this year, on Tuesday, which is when books in the United States are usually released. And it is, I think the word magisterial is often overused in book copy, but this might just hit the mark. The book I want to tell you about, the book that Princeton would like to share with you, is this one. It is The Soviet Century, Archaeology of a Lost World by Karl Schlegel. I did my very best to pronounce the O with the umlaut, so if anyone who is a native German speaker is watching, I apologize. But this is, looks to be just an entire sort of excavation of everything Soviet. And that's wonderful because it's a great sweeping history of most of the 20th century, from what the Bolshevik Revolution, I guess, to the fall of the Berlin Wall, the fall of communism. So I just wanted to read you the inside, and then stick around toward the end of the video, and I'll have something interesting to share with you for people, especially for people who have channels and want to participate. So I'm going to read the material from the Princeton University site, which I will link below to share with you just in case you want to pick this up. The Soviet Union is gone, but its ghostly traces remain, not least in the material vestiges left behind in its turbulent wake. What was it really like to live in the USSR? What did it look like, feel like, smell like, and sound like? In the Soviet century, Karl Schlegel, one of the world's leading historians of the Soviet Union, presents a spellbinding epic that brings to life the everyday world of a lost civilization. A museum of and travel guide to the Soviet past, the Soviet century explores in evocative detail both the largest and smallest aspects of life in the USSR, from the Gulag, the planned economy, the railway system, and the steel city of Magnitogorsk, to cookbooks, military medals, prison camp tattoos, and the ubiquitous perfume Red Moscow. The book examines iconic aspects of Soviet life, including long queues outside shops, cramped communal apartments, parades, and the Lenin Mausoleum, as well as less famous but important parts of the USSR, including the Great Soviet Encyclopedia, the Voice of Radio Moscow, graffiti, and even the typical toilet, which became a pervasive social and cultural topic. Throughout, the book shows how Soviet life simultaneously combined utopian fantasies, humdrum routine, and a pervasive terror symbolized by the Lubyanka, then as now the headquarters of the secret police. Drawing on Karl Schlegel's decades of travel in the Soviet and post-Soviet world and featuring more than 80 illustrations, the Soviet century is vivid, immediate, and grounded in first-hand encounters with the places and objects it describes. The result is an unforgettable account of the Soviet century. And just I was very curious. You can see the size of this. So curious. It weighs in. I mean, it probably looks like it's a lot bigger than it is. It is only 900 pages. Might be a little late for some people interested in March of the Mammoths, which is going to be halfway over by the time this comes out. But it is a nice big book of Soviet history to sink your teeth into later in the year, October, November, December during the fourth quarter. So if this sounds interesting to you, and it sounds fascinating to me, to be honest, I've read the first 10 or 15 pages, and it's totally absorbing. Sounds like a fascinating, as you could tell from the matter, a sort of a culture, or not cultural, material history of the Soviet world, based on things, artifacts, material, tangible culture. Fascinating stuff, and something I wanted to show you before it released on Tuesday. So let me know what you might think about this. The great thing I wanted to include before I wrap up is that the people at Princeton were kind enough to not just send me a copy for review. They sent me 2 copies. So now I have 8 pounds of Soviet history on my hands, and I don't need both of these. So if you are interested, if you have a channel, please leave a comment below. Have the channel be book related, booktube related. Have at least one video on it. And leave me a comment about why you might want to read this and why you're interested. And I would be glad to mail this to you, provided you are in the continental United States. So if that sounds good, let me know, and I would be glad to get this out to you. I'll leave it open for, let's say, a week. So through Saturday of March 18th, around the afternoon, here in the United States. And I will get this out to you if I message you, and with address information and all that good stuff. So, something I wanted to share with you, something the great people over at Princeton wanted to share, and something absolutely wonderful to read either now or later in the year when the fourth quarter rolls around. So I have been a little bit absent, but I will be back very, very soon as work winds down a little bit, and I'll be back to posting reviews and all of that other good stuff. Just be patient with me, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.